NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barrie.
Gonna have to put up the there may be adult language in this podcast. Sometimes we do good, sometimes we don't, but we may have to make sure I have that. I know if we're expertly explicit, we'll do it, but so anyway, so kicking it off, last night we had two games. We had a nice 45-minute show. The fans came in. We got a pretty good charge. I hope you had a good visit with your family, Rico. Are they still in town?
No, they left this morning. It was a nice quick visit. Brought a couple 70-year-old parents out to play pickleball for a couple days. It was actually a pretty good time.
Dude, that's awesome, man. They make that long drive, and yeah, dude, it's crazy. I think, my dad died really young. So I was 18 when he passed away. So he was 41. So I don't ever think about how old he would be now, but he would be getting into that range, he'd be 65, but still or 64. He would turn 65 this year, I think. So Andrew, thanks for being in, man. Andrew, I forgot to tell you, I used to work at a bar too, Steve's Sports Bar. Subsequently, I got married at that bar. Big time shithole bar. Okay. So we had a lot of games tonight, and I invited a guy to come on. We'll see if he makes it. He I don't want him for very long, but he was pretty animated about his team. So hopefully he shows up. But real quick, and why I'm having a problem here. Well, that'll be an easy fix. I'll just do this. I'm going to update the scoreboard like always, but guys, it's going to take time, so give me time. Right now, we have the Coyotes beating the Blues in the second intermission, about to go to the third. Yeah, Logan Hacker, how about those Oilers? They're losing 4-1 with 4:13 left to go, barring a miracle. And by the way, the Flyers, guys, they got Couturier and Cam Atkinson in the lineup. The rest of that lineup is 24, 23, 22, 21-year-old kids, and they're playing good hockey. I don't want to ever hear any more Tortorella slight. I know the guy's a hard ass, but off the ice, he treats him with dignity and respect. And the guy's a good.
I don't understand at all why. I think, what are you talking about? Tortorella's a coach's coach, man. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time, and you get the good thing is he doesn't care that he gets shit on. He doesn't give a shit, right? So it's fine.
The guy has a Stanley Cup, and he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be one of the. The Flames won, Dominic. That's fun. I am a little worried if I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan. I watched all that game. I tried to watch that game closely because still don't know what we have in Calgary. The Capitals beat Calgary. I'll tell you right now. The wife is chiming in. She says, you know what, Andrew? I am not ruling out Arizona for the playoffs. One, they play in the Central, okay, which is not as strong as the Pacific. And Turney, another guy who can coach. So I'll be interested to see.
Going back to that thought,
I had the Blues today. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I'm not doing bad. But that was a terrible pick. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
My only thought with Tortorella is if you're not going to play and try and play hard and play the system and play the right way, you're not going to like Tortorella. If you're just going to coast out there and coast your contract,
if you want to play some pond hockey, he's not your coach.
No.
All the guys that talk shit about Tortorella now that are they're no longer playing, their careers were they never lived up to what they were supposed to be. Ray Whitney,
I have to say
Ryan
this, Pearlo.
Whitney, all of those guys, they never lived up to what they were supposed to do. Tortorella was exactly right. They didn't have the character to play. So,
Pearlo, I have yet to hear an NHL player, an NHL player that's played for Tortorella talk shit about him. I mean, 90% of the guys that played for him love him.
Yeah, 10% didn't. There are guys that didn't like him. Look at Joe. Look at a good example. Johansson went to when they made that trade for Seth Jones. You know, he didn't really like him, and Tortorella didn't see eye to eye, and he never became the number one center everybody thought he was going to be. Right. So, Lecavalier almost quit on, like, they had absolutely a war between the two of them. A war, because Tortorella pushed that guy as far as he possibly could, because Lecavalier was apparently very lazy. He didn't like doing. And
I think he turned him into the player he became, and I think probably Lecavalier is probably pretty happy about it. Honestly, he wouldn't have a Stanley Cup to his name.
Well, I heard an interview with him. He said it was a war. It was a war. Sometimes it was a war.
All right, I'm updating this as we go, but we got a lot of people in the chat. Rick Smith, Canadian Olympic gold medalist, legend. Thank you for being in with us, Rick. Looking forward to seeing you in Toronto, hopefully. Johansson is a good story. His come up, though. And Rick has given us a football score for all those people that have taken the time to come and see us Thursday night. It's probably not going to be a huge night for us. 17-9 Jags. They're playing the Saints, I believe. I don't know. There was too many games on tonight, man. I was like, I am not even turning on because I don't want to get roped into if it was a good game or not. So I was like, I'm not even going to watch the Thursday night. So yeah, Edmonton's going to lose 4-1. And I don't know, man. I'm telling you right now, if I'm an Oilers fan, I'm real. They haven't even played the good teams yet. Dude, and they're 1-3 to start the year. And everybody and their dog was picking them to be in the Stanley Cup and win the Pacific. And that is not happening.
The Oilers are the worst. People say Toronto is. The Oilers are the worst for playing down to their competition. Worse than Toronto.
My thought is Ekholm. I don't think Ekholm's 100% healthy, boys. I think they brought him back.
No, he did not start. He did. Yeah, he was day to day. They didn't play the first game.
I don't think he's healthy. Like Bouchard's a -3 tonight. Ekholm isn't the same guy. If Ekholm isn't that stud defenseman back there at full health, it does make the forwards look pretty bad on that team.
But Rico, you know, and I know that if you're depending on one player to keep your team together, you're probably not a championship team anyway.
But he's a key guy on that back end too. But
I'm not denying it.
The offense has gone to sleep too. Edmonton should be scoring 4 and 5 a game.
No, I'll tell you what that happened they did this last year too. But it was a few more games in. What's his name? The coach there. Every time he takes them out east, the first game, they go fishing, they go to a spa. They took Ambien and had naps all day today. That's what they did all day, and they played like it. They did it. They played Washington the last time about the same time this year. Do you remember that? And Washington.
Yeah, but I thought the Capitals actually played. That was the one game of the season last year where the Caps, I thought, played their forecheck game. They played old school, grind them out, cycle hockey. That team last year, especially,
Edmonton played with. Edmonton had no legs that game, right?
And Edmonton just isn't equipped to play that way. That's exactly what Vegas did to them. I just, again, it's just one of those things where it's like, if I'm an Edmonton fan, I'm not panicking, but I'm panicking.
I'm not panicking because I don't believe Edmonton's going to win.
You've lost to two teams that were not playoff teams last year.
I don't believe Edmonton's going to win.
The Flyers are 3-1, and Vancouver is 2-2. I give them a pass on the first game of the year, but I don't know, man.
I don't believe Edmonton's going to win a cup, so I don't care if they make the playoffs either.
You got to get
I honestly don't. until you can build a team with McDavid that I actually think can win a cup, I don't care what happens to them. So I'm not.
Well, they're not going to miss the playoffs.
It wouldn't matter to me if they did or not. Good. They'd maybe change their way of thinking, the way they play and their system and all this nonsense they've been trying to do since Wayne Gretzky was there. Like it doesn't change with these guys. They can't progress into the way the league is going now. And I don't care if you got McDavid. You play the way they play, you're going to lose. You're not winning a cup. No way, no how.
I think you just have to be really consistent with the two-way play, and I just don't feel like I think Edmonton thinks they're going to roll everybody up and go 40% on the playoff on the thing. And I'll say this: I do think the refs have been giving a lot of power plays to them, but they're just not converting on what they did last year. And I just think that's going to be one of those things where it's like you can't rely on your power play to get you through the postseason. And we've talked about this kind of ad nauseum. Rico, I want to hear your thoughts about Toronto. Did you get to watch any of that game tonight? Or
I caught some of it. I was at work till 9, but it seemed like Toronto outplayed them a little bit, just didn't get some bounces. I got a question for you. Who's the second most all-time leading Florida Panther goalie in wins?
Second most? I'm gonna go with Van Beesbroek.
No.
It's the guy that played tonight.
Bobrovsky.
Oh, Bobrovsky?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Roberto Luongo ran away with number 1.
I knew Luongo was one because he was there a long time. I think people forget how long he was there. Like, if he goes to the Hall of Fame, I wouldn't even mind seeing him be a Panther in the Hall of Fame because he was there. Well, he is getting into the Hall of Fame, isn't he, this year?
Yeah.
Or did he get in already?
Klingberg was a -2 tonight. Matthews is a -2. Marner.
Winnipeg just tied it against the Vegas in Winnipeg.
I think they ran into Florida's home opener. Florida was jacked. Toronto could have won that game. They outshot them. That game could have went either way, Toronto and Florida tonight.
I don't think Toronto looked very good, though. I know they outshot them, but they were it was very perimeter. I didn't think Toronto looked good. They didn't look like they were coming to. They didn't look like, and this has been the problem with Toronto, and I think you guys will agree. There's no anger in that team. And they thought they'd get Bertuzzi and guys like that. They did not look angry. They're playing against a team that just spanked your ass in the playoffs, and you're just floating around playing a perimeter game. Like, what? They need some anger on that team, man. And they thought.
I will say this real quick. In Salty's, Florida fans were out in force, and Troy Terry just scored to put Anaheim up 1-0. This is Leo Carlson's debut game.
I've got Anaheim first period money line.
Well, they just scored, so you should be happy. 15-23 in.
And I've got
Winnipeg tied it up against Vegas. Hey, I'm telling you. Go ahead, Pearlo.
This Vegas game, I got the draw. I chose a draw.
You got the draw. You got to go into OT.
I picked the
There
draw.
you go, buddy. Everything's looking good for you right now.
Bobano had that on his show today, too. Alex B. Smith called that draw on his show today, too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a draw master.
But hey, looking back at the Leafs, though, like Marner, Tavares, Nylander, and Matthews, none of them are going to ever get into a fight. None of them are, even if you saw them on the street, you're not going to be afraid of any of them. So that's the way it is. That's the way that team's going to be. I don't know.
Oh, sorry about that.
I mean, they got to get angry in that situation, man. They didn't look like angry to me. They just look like they're floating around, playing around in the perimeter.
Ask John if they look angry tonight.
I'll just say this.
John.
I watched the entirety of that Leafs game. I didn't think they played that terrible. We got John Viveros from Hot Take Hockey on. I know he had a lot to say about John Klingberg because I hung out in his stream for the entirety of it. And I think sometimes when you're outside looking in, you can see, they didn't look terrible. But Go ahead. I know, John, we don't want to keep it too long, but I did want, you were ranting pretty hard. I know you needed to take a time out for yourself there. How are you feeling, man? I know it's what, the fourth or fifth game of the season, so you can't be panicking yet.
No,
Can you?
no, I'm not panicking. I mean, I would say that it's just kind of like, I don't know. I caught a little bit of what Rico was saying. It just seems like it's like a bit of the same old over and over again. I went in my car and I yelled a bit, so I got a little bit of that out of me. But I'll do a respectful rant here. Is just saying that, like, I just don't understand how you can lose to this team. Like it feels like a couple months ago. I guess it was 3-4 months ago, or whatever. That you lose to this team in 5 games, almost got swept, and this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to like channel all of that anger and frustration you had over a course of 4 months against a team you just lost to, and like this is the effort you present. Again, Jeremiah, to me, I can kind of see your perspective in the sense that they didn't play that bad, but I think they didn't play that bad against the opponent they were presented tonight. Florida, to me, did not have a good game to what they're expected either. So I think in terms of the matchup, I think it was fairly even because I think Florida shit the bed as well. I just think you see some of the effort levels, and Jeremiah, I truly think, and I said this on the stream, you take the 2 hat tricks away from Matthews. What are you looking at from this Leafs team right now? Outside of the core 4 guys, the depth of this team has contributed 3 goals through 4 games. Outside of the core 4.
I'll just say this real quick, and then I want to hear more from you. What I've seen from Toronto this year is they're not playing as good a team defense as they did last year. They've sacrificed a little bit of that two-way play by guys like Hall and other dudes, Kerfoot, being gone. And I know those guys were maddening for you guys because they didn't produce really well offensively, but for the most part, they were great shorthanded and defensively. And they got rid of a little bit of that to add a little bit of a grit, which I think will do them a solid in the playoffs. So honestly, if I'm a Leafs diehard fan, I don't really give a shit where they finish as long as they make it. That's just me.
No, I mean, I'm with you about where they finish. I don't really give a shit where they finish. They could finish in the second wild card, and I couldn't give a shit. But I just think it's more, and I always say this, I can take a loss, but it's more about how you're playing versus the result, especially in an 82-game season if you feel you're locked as a playoff team. Like, I think Tampa, they don't give a shit about the record-breaking year after getting freaking banged up by Columbus in 4 games, right? Like, I don't think they gave a shit about that afterwards. So I think it's a similar thing with the Leafs. Like, I don't give a shit about really how they're playing if things change. But I am seeing a lot of the same things I've seen year after year. So it's kind of hard to just dismiss it because it'd be different if they were just going through the motions and you're seeing more of other things. But, I mean, Jeremiah, I mean, looking at tonight, it's not like again, catching what Rico said, it's not like there was many guys trying to take heads off or show something. You're down in the game, and it's like, where was the response? Yeah. Where was Bertuzzi grabbing a guy or pulling a helmet off? Where was Domi getting after a guy in a scrum? Where was Reeves laying one freaking big hit? One, not even just one shift, one single hit. Where was any of that tonight?
That's what I was saying when you came on. Like, it's not the loss. It's how you responded to this team. There was no hate. It's like you want the spirit of competition to me with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It just isn't there.
No,
they got a lot of talent, but they don't have that spirit of competition. They thought they'd bring in Reeves. I mean, Reeves is great in the room, but you don't want that guy on the ice. He couldn't freaking save his life. It's horrible. And then Domi, I don't know what they were thinking about Domi. They were thinking that he was going to bring grit. He doesn't bring grit. The only thing he does is he yaps in the opposition's in the offensive zone, so he doesn't have to come back to the defensive zone. He pokes a couple times in the guy's helmet and he goes off. I don't know what that was all about. But Bertuzzi now, on the other hand, this is a guy that says he wants to play for Toronto. And I don't know about you, but I haven't seen the Bertuzzi that everybody was expecting to see so far this year. What about you? Would you say that, John?
No, 100%. I think there's a lot of things with Bertuzzi that are not his strengths, with skating being one of them. But I think with Bertuzzi, I mean, he gets under the skin a bit. But I actually think he's a pretty good playmaker from what I've seen. I mean, if you watched him in Boston, Dylan Larkin loved playing with that guy for a reason. Obviously, he was a good teammate, and he would come to the defense of his teammates, but he was a great playmaker. And funny enough, he also put up 30 goals one year, so I guess he could score goals as well. So, yeah, I mean, Pearlo, I'm with you. I think with Bertuzzi right now, it's really disappointing because Sheldon Keefe, I rip into him all the time, but if you're a Bertuzzi perspective here, the guy gave you a silver platter. I mean, he set you up with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, and what have you done with it through 4 games? You've done nothing. I mean, I think Bertuzzi has 1 goal. I don't even know. Maybe he has an assist. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, he has been very non-existent. I think when you combine Domi, you just outlined, you combine Reeves and you combine Bertuzzi, that's about, what, $10 million right there between those 3 guys. And what have they done outside of the Reeves fights, essentially? Like, not much.
That's definitely a good point because you're paying your top guys. The top guys are going to produce in Toronto. Like the top 4 forwards are going to produce. It's those guys in the muddy middle making like the $3 to $5 million range. Those are the guys that kind of make and break your team and your season sometimes, you know. And this seems like a Toronto team that, who cares about the regular season? This is a fast forward to the playoff type team. Get there healthy. And I think at the end of the day, Bertuzzi is going to be a better bunting on that line by the time the playoffs come.
Yeah, Rico, I agree with that. I think that's why I'm going to be a little bit more patient with the Bertuzzi and even Pearlo. I know you're not really friendly with Domi right now, but I think with Domi, specifically if you saw with Dallas and Carolina, he did score some big goals in moments. Like Carolina, he scored a goal in a Game 7. Dallas, he contributed. I just think if he can use a bit of that shit disturbing ability in the playoffs, score a couple big goals, I think at $3 million, it's not the worst thing. Like Kerfoot was making $3.5 million. And yeah, Kerfoot's obviously a lot better defensively, but outside of the Kerfoot game-winning goal in the Tampa series, he didn't do much in his time with the playoffs with Toronto. So I think $3 million for Domi, to me, that's no big deal. I think if he was making more than that, then the conversations to be had. But I'm definitely with you. The Bertuzzi one's he's got to be a massive difference maker. I think that will come in the playoffs. So I'm not really getting too much on this case right now.
So I have a question for both you and Rico, because you guys both played like high level, youth hockey. And I barely played men's league and can't skate backwards. And Pearlo doesn't remember much from his days. So, but he was a defenseman.
I played pretty high level too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, for all 3 of you then, to me, hockey is one of those sports where you really have to know what the other guy is doing and where they're at on the ice. And the longer you play with someone, I feel like those things can come about. And maybe that might be what we're seeing a little bit early in Maple Leaf land, just to be a little bit of we have some negative things to say, but I think I would be overtly optimistic there. I don't know. Am I off base here? Like I know I'll say this. I didn't notice Bertuzzi tonight. Again, I was watching primarily the Flames and Buffalo game. It was just a better game all in all. But I was listening to the Leafs game, and of course I was in your chat all night, John. So which I will always try to do. One of the reasons this show is 10 p.m. Eastern is so I can still be a fan of the people I like to go to YouTube, you being that guy. You're that guy that I kind of found in the pandemic. So I was just looking today, 2 years, 6 months or something. I've been a member with your channel. Pretty crazy. So that doesn't go away.
That's crazy.
I'll always be a big supporter, man. I think that's the best way you can show your friends is just be there for them. But for me, I really feel like, those guys weren't real noticeable, but I wonder how much of that is and I know you want to see that stuff worked out in camp, and you hope that they felt like they played 15 preseason games this year and stuff. But I think some teams played as many as 9, right? So I don't know. Am I off base there? That like if this is middle November and we're seeing these kind of efforts from them, I might be a little bit concerned. But how are you guys feeling? What do you think there?
I mean, I can go first if you want. Yeah, just quickly. I think there's a couple sides to it. I think the chemistry one, Jeremiah, is big. I mean, I think going back to like what I talked about with Bertuzzi in Detroit, and I think that's why the Leafs have kept Matthews and Marner together for like over and over again, even though at times in the playoffs it doesn't work, is because you kind of see that vibe from Matthews and Marner. They know where each other is on the ice. You don't even really have to kind of have your head up. Marner knows Matthews' behavior, and I think there's a lot of awareness of the game at that point, not just the game of hockey, but the game of like the player you're playing with on the ice all the time. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest problem with having like new guys on the team in a big way, is there's going to be so much of that adjustment period. Pittsburgh is another team that's probably going to be very inconsistent this year because they have so many new guys on that team where it's like, sure, you have a lot of skill. A guy like Erik Karlsson, like in a similar way to Toronto, for example, like sacrificing Riley on the power play to have Klingberg, you're trying to go for that higher capability of Klingberg having the point shot. Like that's another example. And I keep validating that perspective because Klingberg, as much of a Riley guy as I am, Klingberg has that better blue line presence in terms of a shot. Just that specific. There's a lot of things that's driving me nuts with Klingberg. He just has the shot presence that Riley doesn't from the like right at the blue line. So similar thing with Pittsburgh is like they're sacrificing Letang on that power play to have Karlsson, who's just an overall better threat on the power play. So I'm with you, man. I'll pass it to Rico, but it's obviously a huge part to have that awareness of who you're with.
Real quick, I want to ask you a question about that Klingberg thing. Having him there and having him on the power play, don't you feel like that saves Riley's legs for later in the season when they really need him? Because I, hands down, having seen them play in Tampa twice, right before the season ended and in the playoffs, he was the most noticeable Leaf for me. And I know you felt that way. He's your favorite player. Do you think that where he's at in his career, and definitely somebody like Giordano and stuff, he needs to be spelled and probably not even play every game. Hopefully Connor Timmins coming back helps them with that too. But do you feel like maybe just, I know, I just feel like the more time Klingberg gets on that power play, maybe the better they'll be. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm with you. Like I said, I want to let Rico as a Leaf perspective too, but yeah, I agree with you because I think you just said it, like the Leafs defense probably overall is worse as a structure right now. So you're going to have Riley as that much more of a horse come playoff time. So I know a lot of people are actually ripping Brody right now because we're probably on 2 or 3 straight playoffs where Brody's been pretty rough in the playoffs, right? Like Brody looks great, 82 games, looks solid defensively, gets to the playoffs, looks like a disaster. So I think that just becomes that much more for Riley to save himself for the playoffs because a lot of these guys they struggle. I mean, against Tampa, right? Like the defense were a nightmare in some of those games, but obviously they pulled it out of their ass. But yeah, Rico, I don't know how you feel about the team defense right now. I mean, Trey Living already talked about trading for one defense. I think there's probably going to be 2 or 3 guys they're going to have to go after because this defense wouldn't last. They'd get swept first round.
Yeah, for sure. And I give kudos, man, because when the Leafs signed their 4 guys we brought in Tavares, I thought this was going to be trouble because we'd be losing guys one by one to the cap. But, over the last couple of years, the Leafs kept their core. I think it was the right decision. But just surrounding them, just trying to change, trying to be something different, going on what helped you last year, what didn't help you last year, and try to put those things in place, like getting Klingberg as a right-handed shot. I think he's only get better. High upside guys on 1-year deals around that core, I think, is the way to go. And I'm pretty pumped, man, for just the regular season. But it's like the Blue Jays, it's like the Bills, like the Leafs. I just want to fast forward to playoffs, man. Yeah, but you know what? TJ Brody's should be at Jesse Purriarvi's pool party. I think he's still there. He hasn't showed up yet this year.
Did I drop you there on accident, John? I'm sorry. Or I don't know what happened there. Did we lose you? We got you back. Can you hear me, Hot Take? Can you hear me, John? I don't know if you can hear me. We got you. I don't know what happened there. No worries. Hey, honestly, too, I told Hot Take Hockey we wouldn't keep him forever. So if you got to go, John, you're good.
But
let me know.
Can you hear any of us? No? Huh. That's weird.
I think we lost him. Anyway, I think we lost. He can call back in if he wants. If he doesn't, no big deal. I really appreciate him coming on. He follows that team like it's religion. He's going to be you, Rico, him, you, Rico, and all these great Rick Smith, all these great Leaf fans. I mean, I'd be so happy to see those fans get a chance to celebrate a Stanley Cup championship in their lifetimes. Just one. Just give the guys a break.
Man, the years are ticking away.
Yeah, Rico's like, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, man.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much to Hot Take Hockey for coming on, John. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know I kind of bribed you there a little bit, but I didn't want to take any more of your time anyway, it being 10:30 there. So as we were speaking, Jack Eichel scored and put the Vegas Golden Knights up, and they have won that game 5-3. So sorry about that one, Perlo. You didn't get your.
No, it's okay. I had Vegas also. I had Vegas and the draw.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't want was the Jets in regulation. That would have sucked. So it was okay.
Thank you for popping in, Brand. I appreciate you. So look, Yotes look good. They're beating St. Louis. A lot of people didn't think St. Louis was going to be good. That's going to be the case. I thought I have all the scores down there, but I feel like I'm missing someone, and I realized who it is. Guess what? Oh, here we got Hot Take Hockey back. Guess what happened? Remember I said they started the year, they stopped the blackouts for Alaska for Seattle? Nope, back on. Only the first week of hockey. What in the fuck, NHL, are you doing? You want to grow the game, allow a region that's nowhere near it's a 4-hour flight, $700 minimum, and $250 to walk in the door. Second highest ticket prices in the NHL in Seattle. So, like, I got to have more than one reason to go down there to go to a game. So, I just, like, unbelievable. Like, what are you doing? Like, the Yotes put their stuff on ABC local now. Anybody can watch it with rabbit ears. It's a good move, guys. Because, first of all, there's only 5,000 fans can go to those games at Mullet Arena. So, those ticket prices are actually out of control. I used to go to Arizona games all the time because they were not expensive. You could pay $100 and sit behind the home bench. So I'm really frustrated with that, man. Hot Take, I want you to come back and finish your point if you had to, but I was going to let you go because I really appreciated you coming on, and I felt like you gave us a really good take on the Leafs. But if you want to finish your points, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, I was going to head out, but I was glitching out there. But before I head to bed,
go spend time with a fan, man. I really appreciate you. Go right out of work, go right into streaming. I know what you're doing just to keep your channel going. So again, you're an inspiration to all of us trying to do this. So I just appreciate you coming on and look forward. We're gonna meet in person, man, and not very long.
Sick.
It's like in a month, less than a month.
Man, I'm
Rico
excited.
too, man. We're gonna go to that Vancouver Leafs game. So.
If we go to that game, dude, we got to sit right outside Real Sports and just keep refreshing Ticketmaster while the warm-ups are going on. You'll get in for about $1.50.
Okay.
That's usually what happens, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that how you do it? Is that how you do it?
That's how we got into game one, the home game against the Panthers last year. I was 17 rows up, and my sister came down, and we were refreshing Ticketmaster right at the corner, right outside Real Sports, refreshing, and then we saw it, boom, we hit it, we walked in, and it was like $170. We were 17 rows up.
Rico, you're spilling the secret sauce to too many people here, man.
I don't know if you should give this information out. Oh, you know
Rico,
what, though, guys?
I
think our show is small enough
figured out.
Oh, dude, how many people are in the chat?
7, and I'm pretty sure one of them is my wife, so you don't got to worry about it.
All right.
And Salty lives in Michigan, so he's not a problem. Salty is my main man mod. Salty's always working for me. Yes, Rick, we're gonna do a meetup. You know, Rico, I was just gonna buy tickets, so yes. But you know those Canadian games are probably gonna be expensive. Brent's in British Columbia, and Soul Search Gurus is Vancouver Island. So probably one person from the GTA heard it.
Dude, the Bedard game Monday night was ridiculous. If you looked at the tickets, that was just
insane.
The Bedard. I heard it was 250 for nosebleeds.
Yep. That's accurate.
Yeah, to get in just to look down at the ice.
Scored again. It's 2-1
Who
Seattle. I have Seattle over 2.5 goals, so I'm doing pretty good that way.
Well, I gotta find Rick Smith hooked me up with the illegal website. I gotta go back to that to watch. I mean, just out of control.
Dude, we're so streaming. You gotta watch what you say on here.
Yeah, I know. They're gonna come arrest me.
Yeah,
no, but I mean, like the fact
Jeremiah's like, I did this illegal thing. I did this illegal thing. I did this illegal thing.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. What an absolute joke that Alaska is a regional blackout for Root Sports Northwest. Go fuck yourself, NHL.
Dude, they're going to have choppers over your house tomorrow.
Yeah, Jeremiah, Jeremiah, you're just going to get an FBI guy in the chat one of these days. You're going to get dinged.
Hey, honestly, if that's what they are giving a shit about, giving what's been going on in our country and shit, I don't know if it's someplace I want to live anyway, man. Like, maybe it's time to start looking like Thailand or something, getting the F out of here.
Jeremiah, like, did you tell Rico and Pearlo what happened with Mr. Heatley on Twitter?
Oh, we talked about it, but I didn't name him by name. Dude, he had a special show for me. He was that pissed off.
Wait, he talked about you on his show?
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I had no fucking idea who the guy was. I guess I followed him on Twitter because I was like, oh, he's a hockey guy. I'll follow him. But, like, he got so bent. And basically, I was like, I apologized to him. Like, the second time, I was like, well, dude, it was like the 15th time I'd heard people crying about this shootout. And I'm just like, in the Toronto game where you guys played Chicago, the final minute, we had 3 fucking offside reviews that took like 5 minutes each. But not a fucking peep about that in the media. But oh, it's not in the spirit of the game. Shut the fuck up. Like,
do you know what's not in the spirit of the game? And I thought about this while I was driving my car because we were talking about that. You know what's not in the spirit of the game? Shootouts.
Yeah, we could get rid of the shootout.
Not in the spirit of the game, right to begin with. So if you're going to have them, make it a clown show if you want to. Make it a skill thing. That's what everybody wants.
Well,
I don't think
we have 20-minute periods, right? 20-minute periods.
Of God, like who gives a shit?
Do this.
It's a shootout. Who cares?
Just go with a 15-minute overtime. The first 5 minutes is 4-on-4. If there's a power play, it goes to 5-on-3. Okay? Then you go to 3-on-3 for the next 5 minutes.
They can't do that. That's a problem.
I'm just saying. And then, so it's like a double overtime. And then triple, you go 3-on-3 pond. And then if nobody wins, you just call it a tie. You just go back to the tie system. I mean,
it won't work for programming. That's the problem. I think shootouts are a necessary evil. I don't care. It doesn't bother me, whatever. But for the love of God, why are you worried about how somebody made a move and how it's not the spirit of the game when the shootout already is not in the spirit of the game?
Darby is like, keep the shootout. I'll just say this. They decide the Olympics with shootouts. So I don't know how people think it's not part of the game. I don't think it's just in the spirit of the game. Now, call me old school. But there's no other way around it for programming reasons, so you do it. Okay. As long as they never do it in the playoffs. I would hope not. Yeah, so anyway, I don't even want to name the guy. I mean, he's got way more followers and stuff. But like he's one of them guys that's like a bro. He did a stream. Well,
you got him talking about you, so you're doing something right.
Well, I mean, so here's what I said. I said to him, the reason he don't like Kuznetsov is because he's an R that ends in N. I go, if this is McDavid or if this is Sidney Crosby, people are talking about how fucking brilliant the move is. I'm serious as a heart attack. And I like, we fucking know this to be true. They have the people they like to sing praises in the media about. Patrick Kane did this same move, and he did the Spinorama one too, where they outlawed it. I'm like, they shouldn't outlawed that either. But you have to go continuous to the thing. Marty Brodeur bitched about Ovechkin's visor. Hey, Marty, how about don't fuck your wife's sister, huh? How about that? How about you don't do that one? You know, he did that, by the way, notoriously. So I'm just saying, but he got mirrored visors banned because he couldn't see the guy's eyes. And Ovechkin broke that. I can't remember when he said that, but like, come on, dude. Like, we want our players to stand out and have personality. You can't have a mirrored visor. Like, I don't know about you, but some of that ice is bright. I would want a little bit. I'm wearing these computer glasses because we stare at screens all day now. I just feel like 6'2", by the way, Phoenix. Dude, how about sneaky odds on Logan Cooley for Calder? Anybody thinking putting some money there? So,
no, he's not beating Bedard. I'm not betting anybody this year because there's no way he's beating Bedard.
You're not betting Calder on anyone? I put some change on. So I can only do the fantasy betting, guys. I didn't do one tonight, but over under shots, saves, whatever. So anyway, I didn't want to get back on the diatribe of the shootout.
If I were to, I would actually go with Levi. I would go with Levi.
Well, he looked. I'll tell you what. He saved Buffalo several times. He stopped two breakaways, one on Lindholm and one on Backlund, and they end up losing that game. But I don't know. Buffalo's got to figure out their team defense a little bit there too. They're a little bit.
I don't even think Renato's trying to get them to play defense. I don't know what the heck's going on there. Like it doesn't even seem like he's trying to get them to play defense. They have some of the worst underlying analytics in the league. Like they're really bad.
Yeah, they haven't.
Are you leaving, John? Are you leaving?
Yeah, I gotta head out, guys.
Yeah, get out of here, buddy. I appreciate you coming back in.
You live right in Toronto, John?
I live in the GTA, like outskirts.
I lived in Mississauga. That's what.
Okay. Yeah, I don't live too far from Mississauga.
He's not gonna tell online, Pearlo. This is a question we need to have another time.
You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me.
You can reach out to him on Twitter and
like anybody's going to go scouring all of the GTA to find John. You're not going to tell me exactly.
I'll just say this. I'm pretty sure Hot Take Hockey has a few Stage 5 clingers in his chat, so there's some people that don't need to know where he fucking lives.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Over the years, there's been some thirsty ones in there, and if I was him, I'd be really, he has a girlfriend now, so I would be.
Okay, I would
keeping that shit to myself too.
I wouldn't even
be careful about what you put out there.
It's not a big deal. Yeah, there's been some creeps, but the way Jeremiah tells us like these stories, like talks about it, it's like I got some creepers like banging on my door or something.
Yeah. There's
Dude,
like
you
hanging
never
off
know,
the tree.
man.
No, Jeremiah, I'm saying you add like it's like I don't think you do it on purpose, but you add like a comedic effect to it. You're like
it's for dramatic effect. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
what Stage 5
word did you use? You said clingers?
Jeremiah's got the FBI at his door.
What word did you use? Clinger?
Stage 5 clinger, yeah. That's from a movie.
That's a new one for me. I haven't heard that one before.
Well, I'm old,
Stage 5 clinger.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So Rico, are we? Before I head out, Rico, are we all getting together and just pounding some brews?
I think so, man.
We are. Hey, you know what? If we don't get to go to the game, I'd rather go to a bar and just kick back some. Well, I'm not going to drink beer. Man. I'll just drink hard alcohol the whole night. So, well, I'm on this no wheat diet, man. So I'm back to like having to have like margaritas and stuff. So, like, but I'm not a huge drinker anymore. So, like, I spent a lot of time in my military career, like putting in, So
we got to find a Margaritaville type bar for beer.
No, we don't need to find a margarita. I'll drink beer with you guys. I'm just saying, like, I'll drink beer with you guys. But I'll tell you what, I'll say this: I'd much rather just go to a sports bar and get together, Rick Smith, hopefully, and Rico and John and
have a little fun.
Look at my wife is chiming in. Good Lord, good luck, Toronto. We'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. Like we gotta dress like John. I don't know if you saw it for the Hall of Fame thing. We gotta dress semi nice. Like I'm gonna have to buy a suit for this thing because dude, I don't have a suit that fits me. So they're all, I just threw all my military shit out. I wasn't gonna wear that anyway. That looked ridiculous.
Dude, get one of those shirts that has the suit right on the t-shirt.
I think that would be probably frowned upon, Rico, based on the instructions. So yeah. Hey, honestly, we could have like some good pizza or a good meal together or something, and that'd probably be worth all the ticket money we'd pay just to hang out and BS and watch and we're gonna take the show time off that time for all the listeners while I'm in Toronto for 5 days. We're not doing any shows. Maybe some B-roll footage from that where I get to meet up with Hot Take Hockey. No, Rick, just for the Hall of Fame thing that John and I are going to, we have to wear nice clothes, but for the bar meetup, we can wear whatever. Toronto weather appropriate, right? So, yeah, I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight too, man. I'm about 225. I'd like to get down to some Toronto weight there. So just lose a tad. Rico's playing. Hey, John, Rico's playing in a beer league too. That's in an old barn, and pretty cool. So we're gonna have some beer league stories on here. And again, hey man, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for coming on, and you've been plugging the show. I mean, that's advertisement. You have over 50,000 followers. Means the world to me, man. I so appreciate it. I know you wouldn't do it for just anybody. Because, I remember you were probably a little apprehensive when I first came around, but we always had good conversations, and yes, probably one of the best things that ever happened to me anyway. I've just enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, it's been really good. And no, like I said, I think I tell you all the time, I like the fact that your personality comes with like less of a filter, because there's too much filtering these days in this world. So I like it. I mean, to a certain degree,
me, John. Beard has to filter me sometimes, so you like no filter.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a few times where I just need a good laugh, like good comedic relief, and I just jump on the show and I'm like, you know what? Hearing Pearlo, Rico, and Beard go at it just is a good hockey chat.
I like to send you stuff from time to time.
And Rico sits there and says something really smart at the end and makes us look stupid.
We got a good mix, man. We got a good mix, depending on how many beers I got in me.
The best moments are when Pearlo says something and Beard goes, "What the fuck?" and then it just goes off.
As soon as you hear that, man.
The Seattle not making the playoffs, I feel kind of guilty about that one now, because they don't look good.
I squeezed Seattle in now. Yeah.
Anyways, I gotta go, guys, but it was great chatting.
John.
You guys.
Thank you so much for coming.
Awesome.
Bye, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Cheers, guys. Talk soon.
See you later. Dude, the legend that is Hot Take Hockey, man. I guarantee I would not be streaming and doing any of this if it wasn't for him. Period.
I forgot to say this while John was on. Cool thing, and I don't know if you know him, but off the wall hockey John is back on the air again.
I do know him. Yeah, I know John Duncan. Yeah, I'm gonna. You know why I know John Duncan?
It's from John. From Hot Take, probably.
From Hot Take Hockey, because he's just, you know what, man? Like, he's the type of guy that he's not very old. I think he's 24 now, 25, maybe 24. He's the type of guy that I just like. I didn't know that those people exist anymore. He has such a giving heart and just a great super, and also emotionally intelligent. Like,
he has no ego at all.
Yeah, he's just a good dude, man.
We could all talk hockey, laugh, joke together, talk together, and we don't even know each other, man. Like, that's the beauty of this. It's so freaking awesome.
That's right.
Yeah,
I like it. But I'm gonna be on his show every once in a while too. So I'll tell everybody to come over here from there too.
I gotta hit the can.
Well, when you're on there, just go ahead, Rico. Reach out to him. I've been wanting to talk to him. I know his schedule's busy with his job and stuff. Yeah. So I would love to have him on to come talk some Bruins.
I think he would do that for sure.
Yeah, I haven't reached. I follow him. We talk from time to time. I tweeted at him. We tweeted at each other a little bit tonight. Even he's getting a little bit. I think he's getting a little bit sick about some of the like we talked about Edmonton. Hey, Rick, thank you for the heads up. Rick's been in the chat with us, letting us know the Chicago Avs game is starting here real quick. I think I have that game.
I got nothing on that game. Oh, Seattle scores again. Seattle scores again.
Well, it sure would be nice to watch it.
Team total over, so it's looking good.
Sure would be nice to watch it. So, hey, another topic I wanted to talk about, and heard a little bit of this on Sportsnet 590 with Kipper Bourne and Sammy McKee. They're becoming famous because they're doing an hour nationally now, too. So I'm real happy for those guys because, I really got to know Kipper when he was doing his own thing on the internet. I mean, I knew who he was when he worked for Sportsnet. I would have never met him, but then I was like in his chat every day because I'm like, I want to talk hockey with someone. I didn't have everything else going on. KQ, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yes, Hot Take Hockey has pointed very many of – look, I don't feel like there'd be anybody in here if it wasn't for Hot Take Hockey. So, I want to have Isles Girl on to talk Islanders. You know what? I think they're going to make the playoffs because now, as a Cavs fan, I can be honest with you. If they continue to play the way they've been playing, they are going to be the worst team in the NHL and get the first overall pick. It's just a year where it's like,
I think it's between them and the Blues.
No, the Blues are way better than we are. They're getting work tonight, but they're way better than us.
No, I don't know, man. That Blues team is pretty hard. But the only thing is Washington's in a tougher division, so you might be right.
Well, the Rangers didn't look good tonight either.
I had the Rangers missing the playoffs this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not surprised.
Yeah, you and Biz and
Biz had them
on the show, Pearlo.
What's that for?
Pearlo, you should have a segment on this show called Jesse Pugliarvi Pearlo's Pool Party or something like that. And like instead of a guy being on the milk carton, like the you have a player in the NHL right now that is still hanging out at Jesse Pugliarvi Pearlo's Pool Party. Like he's missing in action, like he's on the milk carton.
It's missing in action, yeah.
Does anybody know what that Avalanche game is on? I can't find it on ESPN.
Jesse Pugliarvi's.
I don't. Well, I'm in the. Like I said, I've got the center ice package, so I don't.
Yeah, it's 0-0 with 12 minutes left.
It's on ESPN Direct. It's on the main channel. That's okay. Okay. Well, wow. Why that didn't come up? But it's on main ESPN in the States. So yeah, I want to have it on because. Well, I'm going to watch as much Bedard play as I can.
You got the jersey yet, Beard?
What?
You got the Bedard jersey yet?
No. But you know what? I've been doing that jersey sign-up thing, and I guess I was supposed to let them know what they've already sent me. So I got my second Jonathan Taves jersey.
Oh.
So 4 jerseys in, they've already sent me double. I just messaged the guy. I'm like, hey.
Dude, you know what you do? Once you start getting a little more going with this show is you auction it off on Twitter, and then that's how you make yourself a hashtag or something, and then you give away that jersey to a bunch of guys that follow and shit your stream.
Yeah, right? No, I think if I talk to the guy and just say, hey, if I just send you the money for a new one, would you just send me another one? And I'll keep the Taves jersey since I paid for it and I've got it. Since I have 2 of them, it still has the tags. I think I will just do that, Rico. I think like you said, I love that idea.
Yeah.
Logan Hacker is saying what Rangers are Fugazi. He says Fugazi, but it's Fugazi. I don't
the Rangers are playing a little bit too defensively under Colorado's. You got to remember to score goals.
Well, they were in the game. They just, I don't know. They had a goal called back. Again, we love Kipper. I met him at a funeral, Original 6 Leafs. Yeah, he's been so kind to me. If you look over my shoulder, there's a note from him. Thanks for the support, Kipper. It's right here next to the Stanley Cup. He sent me this hat, Real Kipper and Bourne. Check them out. What time are they? They're on 4 to 6. Your guys' time, I think now. Yeah, they're right. It's just perfect. Like they get me going, and they're biased as shit, Sammy and Justin especially, but they admit it. And Kipper's the reality, always bringing in the reality. So it's just awesome, man. So
I walked by Kiprios on the streets of Toronto a couple of years ago. He just passed by me, and he was just on a mission. He might have been on his lunch or something because he had his suit on and everything. And all I remember is I looked back, and that was Kiprios. He was a big son of a.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He was talking about. Did you listen to him today?
No, part of it. I was at work till 9, so I caught a little bit of it.
So he said Matthew Nyes is big, and he's like, I'm no slouch. You know, he goes, I know I'm getting older and smaller, so I'm really excited. I really hope Nyes, he develops a little bit of a mean streak too. I think it's going to make him survive and be a popular player there in Toronto. So, yeah, ESPN did 2 calls tonight. Buchagras and AJ Malesko were doing the Flyers-Oilers game, which, again, Oilers get beat. Oh, that's the score I probably left off, huh? That's
the Kraken are up 3-1 after 1 here, so it looks like they're trying to get their first win of the year.
Loving that. I got your Kraken tonight. I took them to win tonight, and I took over 2
against Carolina. You took them to win. That's ballsy, dude. I love it. Perlo,
well,
we gotta get you. Hey, the night before, I know you weren't on yesterday, but before we get off, I want you to give your picks, man. Like, the only thing that's going to bring numbers to us is degenerate gamblers, man. I'm just saying, like, nobody's going to watch this show.
Nothing else you're going to bring to this show, Perlo, except for degenerate.
No, I'm saying, but like, in reality, like, dude, the reason the NFL is popular in the U.S., man, has nothing to do with people even liking football that much. Yeah. It has everything to do with
I can put a free link in the chat here. I can put a free link in the chat. And then it just goes there, and they can check it out if they want to.
Well, just give like one pick a night, like your Perlo
credit card.
The Perlo pick of the night.
Yeah, just give a Perlo pick of the night. You don't have to give. I don't expect you to give up all your stuff. Oh, by the way, Perlo got his new camera cable,
and they can go over and meet me and stuff. It's a link. They get a pick every once in a while, but I mean, I'll always be talking about it on the show, so it's no big deal.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, like,
you could put it in the text, Perlo's pick of the night. You could put it here on the screen or something like that. Yeah, you could do that. My best bet today.
What did you say? Perlo got his new camera?
Yeah, today. He's not using it.
It looks awesome.
I just got it before the show started. So I'll have it set up for tomorrow night, probably.
He hasn't used it yet.
Oh, I thought you were using it. I thought it was called the Hallucinator 2000 because it's all blurry behind you.
Yeah, well
he's been using the blurry.
I blur out the background, so you can't see it.
So, Perlo, you can still do that with the green screen. You'll just look sharper. The one thing I'll tell you is you'll have to stop wearing your Hartford Whalers hat.
I know.
You have to get
I got to go get another hat tomorrow, hat or something.
Yeah, just get a blue. You send me your hat size, and I'll send you a Hartford Whalers blue hat that's blue.
Oh,
so you
cool.
can still rep the whale, and I'm glad to do it because just the green screen will be nice, man. If your wife is walking by or she needs to do stuff, it won't matter because you can't see anything. It'll block out everything behind, and then you could put. Here's what I'd like for you guys, both of you, is at some point use a green screen or get your studio set up. And put, like, Rico, anything you start doing or plug in, like, Perlo, I'd like you to have your own thing where it has your PayPal picks thing up in the thing. And if you have, like, a pick of the day, you can put it up in there. So just make your own background that you can use every time.
Know how to do that shit.
Well, you know how to change the background, though, right? I showed you how you could change the background. All we need to do is just upload your own photo. Like, see, I can do that here. I can do that. So I can go to the solo layout.
Oh, so you take a picture of the background, then you upload it on your computer, and then when you go to select background, that's the picture that you took?
Yeah, look. So can you guys see? Here's one of me and my wife.
No idea. You might as well have been speaking in fucking.
So Perlo, any picture you own, you can just throw in the back.
Yeah.
Under this background thing. So
I don't have anything on my computer.
Fuck, Beard's wife looks like she's on a date with Ovechkin there.
I'll talk to you about it after.
That's me.
I'm trying to think
Probably
and think at the
15
same
pound
time.
center.
I'm trying to think and think at the same time here. Just wait.
Yeah, so Perla, what we'll do is we'll meet up a couple of minutes early tomorrow. Like, let's get on about, I don't want to do too much. And we could end the show too. We don't have to do 3 hours every night. Like, basically the feedback I got is they want us to break our show down into like 30-minute segments anyway. So, which we'll try to do. I'll bring that production to, but sometimes there's just going to be topics to talk about. Like tonight was perfect. Hot Take comes on, rants a little bit about the Leafs. I wanted to be a little bit of a voice of reason there just because I feel like there's a lot of negativity in Leafland. And so I just feel like,
dude,
they're not that terrible, like
Domi's getting hammered on Twitter tonight.
Who is?
Domi.
Why though? I didn't even hear his name. He just sometimes you're gonna have games
because people jump to conclusions on questioning like his whole existence in Toronto right now and how they expect more of this guy. It's people that don't know hockey or people that know hockey or people in between. People are thinking irrationally, but it's Twitter. He was trending, so I clicked on it and I saw a couple people bashing.
I'm sorry, but he's always been a liability.
You could only expect so much from him too. He is a better playoff player than a regular season player.
I would take Kerfoot over him in a heartbeat. Not even a thought.
Look though, but Perlo, like Toronto's got to have that whipping boy. So Perlo, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but to me, all the criticism I heard, and I listened to as much Toronto sports talk radio, and it's been that way for like 7-8 years, just because I cannot handle the summer of LeBron or the year the Brady deflated his football. I just was over it. So I couldn't listen to it. So I would jump on Edmonton Low Tide and I would jump on Toronto sports radio and listen to like Hayes and O-Dog and Noodles. I used to listen to that show, and now I don't listen to them. I listen to Kipper and Bourne just because, I'm a big supporter. When, Justin Bourne went to the University of Alaska, Anchorage, right here in Anchorage. Of course I'm going to support the guy. I think he's awesome, and his dad was a 4-time Stanley Cup winner with the New York Islanders. Bob Bourne. Yeah,
I listened to the Fan, but then I listened to TSN, basically their interviews on podcast form, like the Overdrive guys, their interviews they have with the different
Brian Hayes,
to the podcast segments on there with Hayes, Noodles, and O-Dog. Whenever they have a couple of guys on there, I'll listen to those 15-minute segments. But
I love those guys. I think they're great. I truly, and look, you're not gonna know. This is how you know I'm a diehard fan, right? Because I know who they are, So, how many American hockey fans know who O-Dog, Noodles, and Brian Hayes are? And they're great. I love those guys. So
looks like Anaheim's on the board. Troy Terry.
Yeah, that was the first goal of the game. Yeah, that happened really early in the first, actually. I don't know.
Colorado looks like they came to win this game. I think I might have to put
Anaheim.
Perlo, what should be happening to teams that play Chicago? You can tell Rico because the Leafs lost to them too.
Yeah, Monday night in Toronto didn't happen.
Logan Connor, as he said, who scored the goal from our good friend Rick Smith. Hakanpää, I think, took a penalty too on. Yeah, bad penalty, stupid penalty.
Best name in the league.
It is a great name, though. Yeah, Hakanpää, great name. And he's a Finn. It's like right away. Oh yeah, Finn.
Hakanpää.
I guarantee his nickname is Pause. Pause.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Pause for sure. Hockey stick. Pause. Use your hand. Pause. Hey, pause. Guaranteed Hakanpää. It's not hockey. You can't say that quick.
On your clutterbuck there, bud.
Pause.
Yeah, I do not know. I do not know. Excuse me for yawning, guys. I don't know what the hell. I woke up at like 1 a.m. and was like, couldn't go back to sleep. Played like 8 hours of Starfield and fell back asleep.
Dude, I had to hit a cup of Joe to stay awake for this.
I don't drink. Oh, Pearlo, I don't drink caffeine, man. It puts me to sleep. I have ADHD. It has the exact opposite effect.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, dude. I take down.
I usually don't drink coffee at night, but I wanted to get on the show.
CBD oil probably helps you then.
So I had a quick.
CBD oil probably helps you.
Well, marijuana. I take a good dose of that before I start the show every night. So.
Is that right?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I spent 25 years in the military. Wasn't allowed to do it. Probably should have been on it my whole life. It's just one of those.
Oh, if you got ADD, weed's good, right?
It's so great, dude.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I took Concerta, which is an ADHD medication for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And then when I retired and I went to school, I was on it, and it's great and all. I get migraines or headaches from it when I'm back on it. I'm really super productive on it. I should probably be on it while we're running this show, like during the day. We'll see. I'll talk to my doctor. But you get immunities to that stuff. And right now I'm just feeling like, this is enough. And we'll just get better over time. I want to get graphics, highlights. We can show highlights from Twitter. So as long as we've got an account, somebody's account that we can use, and we'll, it gives them credit immediately. So like if I go, let's see if I could find that McDavid goal from yesterday against, let's see, videos. Okay. Boy, Twitter has kind of turned into a piece of crap, huh? You can't search anything on I don't know. Anyway. There was a pretty good scrap tonight. I can't remember which game I saw. Homeboy from Tampa Bay, Tanner Jeannot, he worked over some guy. And I didn't know the other guy. Did you guys see that fight?
No.
Let's see if I do not know. All right. I don't want to be looking for. That's the thing. I don't want to have too much dead air.
Roenick. No, not Roenick. No, Tyler Jeannot fought tonight?
Tanner Jeannot fought somebody on Vancouver. Yeah. What was the final score on that one, too? Did I have that in the thing? Oh, yeah. 4-3.
Oh, Friedman. Whoever this Friedman kid is, Mark Friedman.
Yeah.
Oh, he came from Pittsburgh. He started in Philadelphia.
Yeah, third round pick by the Penguins, 2014. He's 27 from Toronto.
Perlo, we got a gambling question for you in the chat. Occupancy. Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate
Chicago
you.
plus
just
2.5.
tuning in here. Hello. Is anybody looking at Chicago plus 2.5?
Not me. No.
Yeah. So our gambling.
Colorado looks like they are not taking any prisoners early this year. So
they got to win the games against the bad teams, and that's what championship teams do. That's what worries me about the Leafs. And if I am a Edmonton Oilers fan, it worries me too. Now, I do think Vancouver is going to be a playoff team, though. Talkett's got those boys going. But they should have beat Tampa Bay tonight. Tampa Bay doesn't have Vasi. But again, dude, Kucherov, how filthy is that guy? He just gets points every game. I'm just he gets no. They talk about underrated superstars that don't give any credit to anybody. That guy never gets any credit. Tim's
I gotta admit, I consistently underrate him too, and I don't know why that is.
And you know what? Each of these hockey pools that are out every year that have the boxes, the box pools where you pick one of 6 guys and the top scorers in that box, and then there's the second box. I always blow by Kucherov every year. I don't even think he's. I don't even look at his name. So he is in. He's in with the top players in the league, but the guy's a consistent over 100-point guy every year.
I know, dude. Didn't he have 118 last year? Just it's because McDavid had the year. By the way, I know McDavid.
Maybe it's Stamkos overshadowing him, because he's the captain and everything.
You know what, man? I think there's just Point had 50 last year. I just think there's 3 or 4 guys on that team. Sergachev gets more play than Kucherov. Hedman gets more. And look, rightfully so. These guys could have basically won 3 cups in a row. The thing too is, like, we were talking about them. They did go through that heartache in the playoffs. I think, and that's just to get back to the Leafs game real quick. I do think that is a little bit of hot take hockey's thought process. And Rico, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think Leaf fans just wanted to be like, hey, yeah, we know we lost you in the playoffs in 5 games in a gentleman's sweep, but we're not gonna roll over it. And look, Florida, a lot of people thought they'd be down bad. They're actually getting really good play from Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And hey, I wanted to talk to you guys about this subject. Speaking of Oliver Ekman-Larsson and his last team, he's healthy now this year. And it sounded like a lot of the years he was there, he wasn't healthy. And I've heard some really, well, maybe we go to the OHL game, hot take hockey. We'll figure it out. But we'll get together for some hockey watching, if maybe on Saturday night or something. We'll figure it out.
Dude, I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday. When are you leaving town?
I'm there like 5 days. So
okay, so I'd even roll down there on a Monday night, man. I don't care if that works out better for hot take. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, him and I are going to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Like, if he wasn't able to go, so I'm going to get to spend a couple of days with him. Anyway, I think Monday night is Sunday and Monday are the 2 days, Rico. Anyway, we'll talk about this after the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Just real quick, to go back on this Vancouver thing, I've heard like rumors that they just don't have or have had problems in their training staff, and I'm not trying to crap on them. I don't know any of this. I've just heard rumors kind of through the mill. I think Chicklets reported on a little bit with Brandon Sutter. They've just had some issues there. I don't know if you've heard anything. Pearlo, you're there not far from them. I'm sure you guys get it. I mean, you live in Edmonton there. What am I kidding? They're talking the Oilers like 365. But
the only thing I heard there is when what's his name, the general manager Benning, when he was there, the room, the whole place was toxic. It was a very toxic environment before they got rid of Benning, and I think that affected everybody, right?
Well, and so I mean, I just thought that Oliver Ekman-Larsson was when he had some good years in Arizona, and I just always thought that this guy was gonna be like the next great Swedish defenseman, and then it just didn't happen. But now to hear like for the last 3 or 4 years, he was really. So I heard in an interview today on Sportsnet where they brought in one of Florida's guys, and he was like, yeah, he's just healthy. So I think, again, just to go back, like if I'm a Leaf fan, you're a little disappointed because they don't have Ekblad, they don't have Montour. They lost Gudas in free agency. They traded Duclair away because they're in cap kind of trouble. And, I mean, they still have Barkov, Kachuk, Verhaeghe. Now, Bennett was injured too. And I know he was a big factor. Like he knocked Knives out of the playoffs, right? So I understand that. You feel like Florida's kind of beat to hell. You're probably not going to catch them worse later in the year if you play them. They are an Atlantic team, so you are going to play them at least 2 more times, I'm assuming. But so I do get that where you'd like to see a little bit of fire. I do wonder if those guys on that team have the competitive juices to be like, okay, we're going to win. It feels maybe they're just so good at hockey. They make it look easy sometimes too. I always feel like that's it too. Just it's hard sport, man. So still 1-0 Colorado, but they're on the power play. God, McKinnon is so fun to watch skate. By the way, how about this? Mrazek has looked good for Chicago, but Soderblom or other goal. I guess Chicago's got like their goaltending is like top 5 or something in the NHL. They're pairing right now.
Yeah. Mrazek looks healthy for once in his career. So But that you don't want to say that too loud because
I think he wasn't healthy in Toronto because he ate too many pucks.
probably
He had a bad diet in Toronto.
yeah.
Well, I just think what happened with Mrazek in Toronto, once they turn on you, the fans and the media, how do you get out of that psyche, man? Look, Justin Hall, I watched him play, dude. I was like, he doesn't look that bad to me. But like Hot Take Hockey would destroy him on his channel. And you look, who did?
McKinnon.
What game?
Yeah.
No, it was Johansson.
Oh, Ryan Johansson.
Well,
Ryan Johansson. And I don't think that's not his first goal even for them. Oh, dude, on the rebound. Oh, they got like 4 whacks at it. You go, wow. Yeah, Lehkonen was parked out front. He got 2 really good scoring chances. And then Johansson gets 1, and he got it on the second one.
He's had more whacks than Robert Kraft at a Florida rub and tug.
Oh, my God. Did you just come up with that one? Is that your joke?
I totally did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, Rico. Barrie, Ontario. That's his joke. If I hear any comedian saying it, you owe him money. So
yeah, I got a live bet. This Colorado's going to absolutely wreck this Chicago team playing the way.
Oh, they're coming at them hard.
They're taking no prisoners this year. Like it started out with. They're pissed.
You got to beat the teams. You got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, right, guys? That's how you make the playoffs. That's what's always bothered me about Toronto. They always lay an egg against the Coyotes, or they got beat by Arizona this year or last year. Not Arizona.
I don't know. I don't know if that means that because Tampa Bay was the king of losing to shitty teams for a long time.
Anaheim was the worst team in the league last year. And Toronto went in there and lost to him. With that talent, it's unexcusable, man.
Maybe Ryan Reeves is trying to get the boys out to the bar and shit at night, and Domi and his old man bringing a team out that night. Maybe they're trying to get that St. Louis Blues vibe where they're.
By the way,
that's what they need. They need to. I don't give a fuck. Who gives a fuck? They need to have that vibe. They need to have that glory.
What they need to do, I believe, what they need to do, and I was going to bring this up because I wanted to hear what John had to say about it. Sheldon Keefe has got to go, man. That guy is freaking horrible.
I think he would agree with you. So I think he would agree with you. He is not a Keefe supporter.
Okay. I was wondering what he would say, but I think he's horrible.
I think he was disappointed when Tree Living decided to keep him.
How can
that doesn't mean you think if the Leafs play a little bit, it's Keefe isn't Tree Living's guy either. So do you think if it goes a little bit slow, maybe first 20, 30 games, all of a sudden Keefe's on the hot seat, Tree Living brings in his own guy?
After giving
if you guys are 6 or 7 games under 500 by U.S. Thanksgiving, which is the 3rd Thursday in November,
he's done.
I think Keefe.
The finger is going to be pointed at someone, and it's not going to be pointed at Tree Living because he just got there and he can fire Keefe. So.
Or Matthews, or Marner, or Nylander. Which, by the way, those guys have all looked great for Toronto. By the way,
yeah, I know they just
Nylander.
If the Leafs call for change, obviously Keefe's the first one gone. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying after 20, 30 games. I'm saying if the fingers get pointed, he's the one that goes first. That's all.
Does Sheldon Keefe have a super rich father or something? Like what got this guy the job? The guy is terrible. I know he played in the league,
didn't he win a championship with the Marlies, bro? I mean, he was a good coach in the A.
They had an unbelievable team.
And they fired Babcock, which they needed to do.
Yeah.
And so he happened to be the Marlies coach at the time. And that's what a lot of teams are doing, is taking from their internal thing. Spencer Carberry coached the Hershey Bears and then went to be an assistant coach for the Maple Leafs. But then the Capitals hired him, so they brought him back. They're like, but I'll tell you, that's the only hope I have right now as a Capitals fan, is they just haven't picked up the way he wants to play. But Ovi looks not good. He first time in his career, not back-to-back shots. I'm actually really excited. They're dog shit because it'll make me focus on paying attention to all the good teams that are out there. So they did, by the way, the Capitals did recall Hardy Heyman.
Seattle's
Actel.
up 4-1. 4-1.
Jeez. Nice.
They're making the playoffs, boys. They're making the playoffs.
Well, they needed to win. Rico. They haven't had a point. They lost in a shootout in overtime, I think, but they've lost every game. So they have, like, you don't want to start the season over.
How about this one? Matty Beniers is looking for more money than Jack Hughes. You hear that today on Toronto?
Well, I mean, I can understand that because Jack
Hughes only makes 8.5, so
stupid.
Yeah, I know, and he had like 50-something points the year before he signed that contract. Right?
By the way, Rufe hensed a fucking puck over John Gibson's shoulder, making that game 1-1 midway through the second. So
good thing I only took Anaheim in the first period, right?
Well, Dallas again, like. Rupe hasn't been healthy. By the way, that's fantasy for me. I got Rupe. Woohoo, fantasy.
I just picked up Grubauer 2 days ago. Or yesterday.
Fantasy.
That's our our old sports bar chat was for football, but anytime somebody's guy got a touchdown or something, like fantasy. It's like a little fantasy. So
Some guys at the bar, you have some fucking weird fantasy with the NFL. What's wrong with you? Doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man. No, just the fantasy sports. You know, if your guy does well, no. Everybody knew because it was a regular bar, dude. We only had regulars in there. There was no randos. If randos came in, they never lasted. Because first of all, there was nothing nice. I've been in bombed out buildings in Baghdad, Iraq that were nicer than the bathroom of Steve's Sports Bar. That place was a shithole, man. There was nothing nice about that bar. We would literally order food from other places and eat it at that bar because you didn't want anything from the kitchen. There are no rats in Alaska. I'm pretty sure there were rats in that kitchen. Anyway, shout out Steve's Sports Bar. I got married there. It's a faux place now. And they made it look really nice.
Steve's Sports Bar.
So, yeah. I went to a Steve's Sports Bar in Puerto Vallarta, too. And you know what? It was run by a couple of Canadians.
I was going to say,
and they had met Doug Gilmore. I was talking. What?
Steve's Sports Bar is not a chain, though, is it? They're just
no. In fact, the guy who owned it wasn't even named Steve. He goes, "No, I bought it from Steve." So he wasn't even.
I couldn't call it Dave's Sports Bar. My return customers wouldn't come.
Yeah. So Salty. It's so hard to keep track of you, man. You like the Wings and the Avs, but I will say this: it's got to be easier now that they play in different conferences.
He's a Wings fan and a freaking that should be illegal.
He obviously was a fan after the Draper Lemieux incident.
I don't think he's old enough for that. Yeah, dude, those were so awesome.
That was in my prime when I hated the Avalanche, and I still don't.
That sounds like somebody who's a Sakic fan and an Yzerman fan, which makes sense.
So Rico,
I got all the time in the world for fans.
Dude, so I was at the
building,
peak of my fandom.
Building 628, Fort Richardson, Alaska, 3rd floor. My room, I was active duty. The guy to my left was diehard Avs fan because he was from Denver. And the guy over here, Jim Moore, my buddy Jim, big time Detroit Red Wings fan from Flint, Michigan. And they'd be screaming at each other during the hall. And that 96 playoffs was one of the best Stanley Cups ever because that was 96, 97. So good. Yeah, it was great, man.
Fuck, man.
And I still stay in touch with both those guys. Yeah. So how about sneaky game of the night? A 7 spot, a touchdown from the LA Kings against the Minnesota's. I don't know, man.
I had LA too.
They're like Minnesota. So 2 goals. By the way, 12 seconds starting to go off.
Pierre-Luc Dubois, 2 goals, 12 seconds apart from Fiala, both of them.
Yeah. How about Everson putting Fleury in for that extra drama because him and Talbot were together, remember? Now Talbot's in LA, and he
Yeah.
puts Fleury in, and Fleury gets wrecked.
Shout
Gave
out
up
to third
5.
goalie on fantasy. Talbot, fantasy, third goalie.
Did you play him though? Did you have him in the lineup?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got him and Gorgiev tonight. Vanacek was
Okay, yeah.
sitting.
I didn't. You know what? I set my lineup for the week and just don't look at it. I should check it though because that doesn't work very well.
Dude, I think we got to go after Brother Hot Take this year. I think he's the ringer in the group.
Oh yeah, I mean he set the rules too, so it's always weird because I didn't really ask what the lead. I'm kicking the shit out of the guy I'm playing against. I have Ryan O'Reilly, which I didn't even know I had.
Oh, I got a garbage.
Dude, you know who my garbage players, and I should probably drop him, but I need to check if because I think he blocks shots and gets shots on goal, because I think that counts, is Michael Backlund. I don't know why he's on my team. I don't think he's even got a point this year.
No, he had a goal, and then he had a really good breakaway tonight. He should have scored a goal tonight. I'm playing Hughes, your daddy. I don't know who that is. He's got a picture of Jack Hughes. That's the thing too, man. Like on the internet, I'm not afraid to be myself. Like, what are you gonna? I'm not changing. I'm 46 years old, man. I'm like damn near half a century. You know, I just want to be able to take my shirt off at the beach and not be embarrassed.
I'm 51. If I haven't grown up yet, I'm probably fuck it. I'm not going to. So
no, but I'm saying like Pearlo too. Like, I mean, unless someone gives you like valid evidence to change your opinion, like,
oh no,
you don't really need to.
I agree with it. If somebody who I actually think cares. Like most people, I don't listen. I call it someone in your ring. You know what I mean? Like if you're a boxer, who do you listen to? The guy in your ring, right? The guy that's going to be there when the fight's over. You don't listen to all the people in the freaking stand yelling 100 million things. I don't care what they got to say. But if somebody who actually pays attention to me says, hey, Steve, you know what? I think you need to change this stuff. I'll take that into consideration for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I think you're pretty balanced, Steve. Hey, so
everybody else, nah, I don't want to hear.
Our boy Salty said Dursey is cooking. I know he's not one of your favorites, but did he have?
I think he's got crap loads of talent. Yeah, I mean, he just wasn't. I don't think he was brought up very well in LA, and now you've got Turney. Who knows? He'll probably turn into a freaking Norris candidate.
Well, they really needed him too because the loss of Gossespierre. They needed that guy to run the power play for him. So tonight he had a goal and assist and was +1.
Nice.
And he played. You know what, Pearlo? I love this too. They're doing really good with their minutes. He played 19-20. So the two top minute guys were Dumba and Dermott for them. But they got Valimaki, Troy Stetcher, and that Mosier guy is sneaky good. He was a +1 tonight too, 17 minutes. In a 6-2 game. And you know what? It looked like none of their D were over +1. So, like, even though they scored, I think they had a couple empty netters in that game.
Their D is not great altogether, like really, but
I know you don't like Dumba, man, but again, he was a +1. 20. He was second and probably because
I don't pay much attention to plus minus, so I don't.
No, I know, but like
he's not. I'll tell you what, if Turney could get that guy back to what he was 5-6 years ago, that guy should win. Even if they don't make the playoffs, he should win the Jack Adams, because that would be absolutely a historic turn of events if they could do that.
Frozen Frenzy next Tuesday. I'm gonna try to have that on. I might go live a little early and listen to that. That's where they're gonna do like the red zone for NHL. I think they've got all these things. So
fucking Houston Astros just tied the series up in Texas. Both teams won 2 games on each other's field. The fucking Astros.
Yeah, I still think the Rangers are gonna win that one. They've been the best road team. And anyway, I mean, we have all these wars going on. Can't somebody just like bomb the Houston Astros or something? Do the world a favor and get rid of them fucking guys.
Texas doesn't have the pitching, man. They just don't have the pitching.
Nah, they have some pretty good top guys. They'll be fine. That's why they won game 1 and 2. I'm not worried about them. I think they'll come back and win game 5 and 6.
Okay.
So just like Philly will probably be in. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Rico, I don't care. I haven't watched a full baseball game in like 3 years. The MLB should have stripped them of their World Series, and they should have suspended those players indefinitely.
Oh, they couldn't possibly do that because the baseball has always been a cheating game.
Well, you send a message, Pearlo. Just
everybody
saying. Commissioner had no balls.
Once you opened up that can of worms and you found out what was actually going on in baseball and the amount of cheating has happened.
Oh, there was more than one team cheating. That's no doubt.
Everybody knew.
They were all not doing it.
Everybody knew the cheating that was going on. Everybody.
I don't think it was as prevalent as what they were doing.
Oh,
and I believe that what's his name was
really
wire. Anyway, this is a hockey podcast, so I don't ever want to talk baseball.
So, dude, I was just listening to Emily Kaplan here at the intermission on ESPN, and they were just talking about Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
And saying that
Sheriff Valley says he could be back middle November.
Yeah, and he was saying Emily Kaplan first brought up the Buffalo Sabres because his relationship with Kevin Adams, I guess. And
he's from there.
Yeah, of course. And then they brought up Detroit. His favorite line mate was DeBrincat and Panarin, so that links Detroit and New York. But then you got the LTIR money in Colorado because Landeskog's gone. You might want to go to Colorado, better chance of winning the cup there. Yeah. And then Dallas was in on them at the trade deadline last year, so they might pull back and see if they can.
They don't have the room, though. That's their problem.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get him for next to nothing. They're another one of those teams that's up against the cap it's primarily because, I mean, they're paying Ben and Sagan like $18 million. Like, can you imagine? Like, if Matthews and Marner made 9, Leaf fans would be losing their mind because of how much cap space they would have.
But if you're Patrick Kane, would you go to Buffalo because it's home, or would you go to Colorado because you have a better chance of winning the cup? Of course.
I mean, I think Buffalo has a good chance of competing. If it was me and I wanted to win a cup, Colorado would be I feel like their path. So the Pacific is the better.
Joe Sakic will not sign Patrick Kane. There's no way. I can't answer the question, Pearlo. You got to chime the fuck in. I mean, I can't answer the question. I don't care what the fuck you think. Let me answer the question. And then you can say whatever. And by the way, Joe Sakic isn't the GM. It's Chris McFarland. Joe Sakic is the president of Hockey Ops. Same
fucking hands out tickets to little old ladies now. He lets Chris McFarland, who was the one doing a lot of the drafting anyway. Okay. Let me just say, if it's me, and I'm Patrick Kane, and then you can say whatever. I love you, Pearlo. If I want to win a cup, I'm signing with Colorado because I feel like they have the quickest way to the finals. I think the Central is weak. They won't have to play in Edmonton or Vegas till the conference finals. And by then, somebody could be injured for those teams. Okay, and right now, Edmonton doesn't look like a final team anyway. So they may not even make it that far. But Vegas does. So if Vegas is healthy, I feel like Colorado, Vegas, we could have had that anyway. I mean, just Colorado got beat by Dallas is there too. But I feel like Colorado's number one thing is, and if they need that depth scoring, I don't know. If I'm Kane, I would sign in Colorado if I want to win a cup. For sentimental reasons, if I'm Kane, like I just want to play and have fun, I'd go home and sign with Buffalo. I feel like he would be a good fit on that team and could provide a little bit of leadership. And they don't really need the offensive skill, but
let me say this, Pearlo, who would need a healthy Patrick Kane the most?
I hate talking about Patrick Kane because I just don't think he's that great of a player anymore. So,
that's true.
I don't like talking about it because everybody gets mad. You're not supposed to talk about a legend like that and all that blah, blah, blah. I get all my Twitter DMs, people freaking out. My gosh, as soon as you say anything derogatory towards Kane. Guy's a legend. He's going to be one of the best American all time. He's not a great player.
Yeah, he's going to the Hall of Fame. I don't disagree with you have legit reasons why you don't like him. His two-way game.
There's no way Colorado's going to sign him, but who would take him? I think the only
his question was Not who would sign him. That wasn't the fucking question, man. That's
What
why
would
I
I
got
do
fucking
if I were
pissed.
him?
The question was, if
him?
you were Patrick Kane, where would you sign? So even though you don't like him, put yourself in his shoes. You know, he could go to Arizona. I mean, they have cap space for him. They could pay him a shit ton of money. You know?
Where would I
Fuck,
sign?
I wouldn't mind living in
Colorado
Arizona.
Would sign me? Sure, I would go to Colorado, of course. Yeah.
So that's the
But
answer to
that's
your
the
question.
thing is, I don't know if he'd want to go.
What about Edmonton?
No, well, I don't. I'm pretty sure he said already that he won't go to Canada. So
I don't know that that's true. I heard that he was interested in going to Toronto too. Wow, Dallas almost scored again. Marchman got a couple whacks. John Gibson's so good. Dallas only has 17 shots on goal, but that guy routinely last year was like getting 50 shots a night on him. That's why he wasn't any good.
He's starting to fade a bit. Like, it gets aggravating to just get shell shocked every single game, right?
They're better. Perlo, I've only watched 2 of Anaheim's games this year. They are so much better defensively this year than they were last year already.
You know what's
like
interesting?
They got rid of Shattenkirk and added Gudis. And I don't know, man. They just got, and then they added Labushkin. They just added some bite to their defense. And they look and I know that Cronin is like defensive oriented coach, right? So.
Yeah, you got to give Cronin is in
Anaheim, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their new coach, Cronin. He sounds like
he's got a lot of work to do, but they've actually looked a little better this year so far. Yeah, last year was a disaster.
Gorky says Bodians need to calm down Detroit because he wants to. So Detroit's the other team too.
Yeah.
My wife was saying yeah. Hey, I didn't mean to get so hard on you on that. I'm just like, let me answer the question. And, you know, like, you don't have to chime in.
Ward, you're a little hard on the Beaver there, Ward.
You can be as hard on me as you want, Beard. I don't give a shit.
No, I'm not, you know, I don't want it. I know hard feelings or anything. I just.
No, we got hard
my wife was like, you're as hard as on Perlo and Dan Patrick is
Nobody
on
knows how much I can be a dickwad more than me. So if I'm being a dickwad, call me out.
Well, no, I like to answer when someone asks me a question.
Hey, I interrupted you. I was a dickwad.
And hey, this is what
you're fucking talking about shit that's not related to the question. I mean, you're telling me that Joe Sakic won't sign him.
If you guys agree on everything and don't get mad at each other and have fun with each other, this isn't a show. That's what it's all about.
No, but I'm saying this is why I'm saying this. The question wasn't what fucking general manager won't sign Patrick Kane. The question was, if you were Patrick Kane, where would you sign? That's the only reason
my brain has a hard time doing that because the first thing.
Well, I don't mind you even.
And that was a good point. That was a good point that Perlo made. He's like, Patrick Kane is just not a good player right now. So let me
I
try
get that. But he said that before. He said that before.
I know,
so my brain goes, where would I sign? I don't know. I'm such a freaking
you don't like the player and where his game is now. But I will tell you, Perlo,
where he could actually sign before I do it instead of just throwing that.
Let's talk about the injury real quick, though. The reports I've heard from Saravelli, from Emily Kaplan. By the way, Dallas is up 2-1. I didn't see who scored the goal. Sorry. Okay. The reports I've heard is he feels better than he's felt in years. Yeah. And so I wonder
if
that
had to do with his.
If he was playing on bad hips for 2 or 3 seasons, that would be a reason he wasn't. Look, he was never considered a shutdown guy anyway. He's not a big guy, but he's so good in and around the net and so skilled with moving the puck. So,
and he couldn't move on the Rangers. I don't know. So you can't base his last year getting traded to the Rangers on how he's going to be once he's done this injury rehab. Because last year when he was on the Rangers, he was just horrible because I think he was really hurt. If what you're saying is if we corrected him, he might be a little closer to the Patrick Kane than not that he was last year.
We could see 2016.
He was playing on bad hips for like 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
how you play.
I'm saying that, okay, it feels good now, but if you've been playing on bad hips for 3 years, how long is that going to be for?
I'm wearing, I don't know if we got our Tampa Bay. This is a Peter Millar Tampa Bay Lightning hat. I just love it. It's really comfortable. It's a golf hat, it's got like breathable mesh and stuff. So, but hey, Pearlo, I will send you as a gift so you can wear your favorite hat. I will send you a Hartford Whalers. So tell me what your size is, or if you want it adjustable, that's fine.
I got adjustable with the freaking.
Okay, well that's easy. Those are easier to find. So I have your address. I'll send you a blue Hartford Whalers hat because they have the old blue ones too. So and then Rico, I'll have to get you something, man. We got to get a jersey or something to go back up in there. Who's your favorite Leaf of all time?
Holy shit. Favorite Leaf of all time.
The older, the better, probably, because, those older jerseys are actually cheaper from time to time.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man.
It's got to be Clarkie, right? Rico?
Yeah, no,
Clark?
probably wasn't Clark. I did like Gilmore, but
Gilmore.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think. That's a good question. Who is my favorite Leaf of all time?
You Dave Andreychuk guy, Dave Ellett, Curtis Joseph.
You know I kind of liked as a Leaf was Stumpy Thomas.
Oh, Steve Thomas? Yeah. Rock on. Yeah. Steve Thomas. Let's see if we can find. I bet there's a Steve Thomas on eBay.
I like Boria too. I loved Boria Solomon.
We're not that fucking old.
What's that?
We both fucking were like, we're not that. Rico's like, in my lifetime, and I was like, yeah, we're not that fucking old. There is a Steve Thomas jersey on here. There's a couple of them. Number 32. They're autographed too. All these are autographed. They're kind of pricey because they're autographed.
Yeah, I know.
That's all right.
So obviously
I really like
Darcy Tucker. Darcy Tucker was good too. He's like
I was just going to say Darcy Tucker.
How could you not like Darcy Tucker?
Yeah,
Darcy Tucker is awesome. He's the type of guy, when I think third line center, that's just like the absolute best. You want that guy.
Darcy Tucker is the guy that Bertuzzi could turn into.
That's what you would like, right?
Yeah.
That's what they need. Yeah. Yeah, they need to see more from Bertuzzi. I didn't hear his name. That's always an indicator. When you're trying to watch 4 games at once or whatever, it's just like it's friggin' impossible.
When you're a defenseman, you don't want to hear your name called. When you're a forward, you do most times.
Yeah, and I didn't hear Bertuzzi much.
Unless
Salty's like Steve Thomas, Ducks legend. Did Steve Thomas win a cup? I think he was on one of those Devil Cup teams.
Might have been.
Was he on that 94? Let me bring up the roster.
Wasn't he with Chicago before, Steve Thomas?
Yeah, he was with them too, but he was with them when they were really not good. Let's type in his name.
Yeah, who did he play with? Was it
if you want to go way back, my dad's favorite hockey player was Dave Keon.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Despite being considered a great playoff player, Thomas was never able to capture a Stanley Cup. He came close in 2002, 2003 when the Ducks made the Cup Finals, but they lost to New Jersey.
Oh, is that the year that what's
Frederick
his name?
Modine. Frederick Modine.
What's his name from the Ducks? The goalie who won the Conn Smythe that year.
Yeah, John Sebastian Shiger. Yeah, and actually, he never really recovered. Like, he never was the same after that playoff run. Yeah. So brutal, man. Cam Ward a little bit that way, but he came out on the winning side. Like, he was good goalie for a couple, but like he never was like, I remember everybody going, Cam Ward's going to be one of the best goalies. And he was never really great after that initial run. Sometimes you catch a rookie. Honestly, no one's going to like hearing this, but Marc-Andre Fleury was that way. He went on those 2 cup runs in 08, 09 with Pittsburgh, and he was really good in 09, but he wasn't even the starter in 15 and 16 when they won the back-to-back cups. That was all Matt Murray. They brought him in a couple of times, but it's like, but he's going to the Hall of Fame. We're gonna have an episode of all the Hall of Famers that have played with Sidney Crosby and the one that's played with Alexander Ovechkin, and go, you think about what bothers me about Ovechkin is it'll always be what if he doesn't, because I'll tell you, and this is the thing, guys, he's been on the record as saying if he cannot be an effective first line guy, he's going to retire. He doesn't need the money. So I don't, and honestly, they'll just LTIR him and pay his last 2 years anyway. So it's like, if he's like, I can't do it anymore. So yeah, Pittsburgh has a bunch of Hall of Famers
retiring without the record, man.
You don't think
no.
he's
no.
So here's what I'm saying, Rico. He's at 820 something. He passed Gordy by a lot. If he had played the 90-some games that or 120 games he's missed due to strikes and pandemics and shit, he'd already have passed him. Yeah. So I just think, and everybody fucking knows it. And now nobody wants to celebrate it because of the war against Ukraine, because that's Ovechkin's fault that the fucking guy that runs Russia is a lunatic.
Kuznetsov's fault too on the breakaway. Kuznetsov's fault on the shootout.
Well, no shit, he helped him. If you don't help him, you end up flying out a fucking third floor window. Ovechkin, in an interview that no one ever talks about this, they asked him about it when he got back to the States last season. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to change my Instagram or anything because, I got family back in Russia and I don't want anything happening to them. And it's like, nope, was not reported by the Canadian media. Yeah, I mean, Dominik Hasek has been all over Ovechkin and stuff, which, hey, I respect Dominik Hasek for that. He should be speaking out against the war. And yeah, Ovechkin's has been, and he's helped. You know who else did? Evgeny Malkin. You know who else did? Like half the Russian players that play in Ovechkin's the only one wearing it, and I don't think it's fair. I think if you're going to wear it, you wear it to all the Russians that have supported him. It's just one of those things. And look, what are you going to do? Like, it's just like here in the States, like, it's just the difference there is they don't have politically parties. So anyway, like, I try to stay away from those, but it's not like you shouldn't be putting this on a hockey player, man. It's not his fault this war started, So, but like Evgeny Malkin, pictures with Putin on his Instagram, you can go find it, takes no heat. So I wonder why that is. Because he plays with fucking Canadian Jesus, man. Fucking Sidney Crosby. He can do no wrong. I mean, he's playing good, too. He started the year great, so. I just don't think it's fair to him. So, yeah, midway through the second, Colorado up 2-0. I do think they're going to be a good team this year, Pearlo. I think you're bang on. And then, Pearlo, you got that Seattle game on? Give us an update, and we'll wrap up.
4-1 Seattle still.
Still 4-1. Okay. Yeah, great. We got to watch the first week. Thanks again, NHL, for blocking us out. I'm going to solo while you guys are sitting out. I really appreciate it. Let me not watch the Kraken. It's really going to help grow the sport. You guys need to figure that shit out.
I don't understand it. It's stupid. I don't get it. I don't see how it's really helping them at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, okay. Dunn is earning his contract tonight, Salty is saying. Must be getting some good stuff. I've liked what I've seen from Anaheim. 0-for-4 on the power play, probably reason they're losing this game. Dallas is 2-for-5. Ozone possession time, not that big of a difference. Boy, I really like to see Anaheim win this game, man. Just to get them going. I mean, if they do win it, it's an upset. And boy, if you're Dallas, you give up 2-2-1 games. They had that game against Vegas in the bag. So,
I took Anaheim first period because Dallas it's a dead spot for Dallas, but I don't trust the Ducks to hold a lead, So I thought they would come out hard, and that's what they did.
But Dallas is a deep team too, right?
Yeah, Dallas. Yeah, Anaheim still doesn't have much for defense, and
when you have $18 million at your third line between Ben and Seguin, I think those guys are playing third line for them, are they not? I think where they're at.
That's all they are right now is third liners.
But. Well, Ben had a 40-goal season last year. It felt like he was healthy. Yeah, I think so.
Did he hit 40?
Yeah, let me look. I'll look it up while I got you on the main screen, so you can tomorrow give like a what you're looking at, maybe one pick for the gambling, and we'll get ready to wrap the show here.
Yeah, I gotta get going here, so I gotta be up at 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna end the show. I felt like this is a good time. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Good times. Love the show.
Yeah, enjoy the camera. Let me know if you have any problems. Oh, let me go back to the standard 3. I had you. You were talking, so I wanted you on the main one. I'll put you back. So yes, last year Jamie Benn had 78 points. He had 33 goals, 45 assists, and he was a plus 23. And he averaged 15 minutes of ice time a night.
He had what?
He had Jamie Benn wasn't happy.
He had 33 goals and 45 assists. He was basically a point a game player last year. Yeah. So Bedard hat trick on what? KQ Bedard hat trick unloading. Is Bedard tearing it up? Oh no, it's 3-0. 3-0. I was like, what did I miss? 3-0 Colorado, but Chicago is challenging it. So we're about halfway through that game. So we're gonna wrap the show. Perlo, think of something to pick for tomorrow, or one of your bets, or one of your plays.
I haven't even looked at. You know what? I haven't even looked.
We can go through tomorrow's games. Hopefully, there's not. This is what I love. We got 12 games on tonight. There was 2 games on last night. How many games do you think are on tomorrow?
2.
2. Yeah. So we have the Blues and the Blue Jackets, or the Flames and the Blue Jackets. I'm interested in that one. I don't know. I like the Flames, but we'll see.
On a back-to-back.
And then the Devils and Islanders, that's a sneaky good one. The Devils haven't looked real great to start the year. They're 1-1-1. The Islanders are undefeated, 2-0, and they have the best goalie in the league, which, by the way, I have them on fantasy team. So we'll see. Fantasy, Sorokin get a shutout. His last game was 1-0. They won.
Fantasy, Sorokin.
I'm not really big on the only thing I would say is maybe the over in the Calgary Columbus game, but man, those are pretty.
What's the over? What's the bet line you're getting for the over?
6.5. So I don't know.
Okay.
How about the New Jersey Islanders tie?
Yeah, that draw sounds right there, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of does sound like a draw.
You think is that if you guys bet tie, it means it goes to a shootout then?
Yeah, it just go into regulation.
In regulation.
Oh, so it doesn't matter what happens in overtime or anything.
Yeah. So
if it goes to overtime, it's in regulation. So if it goes to overtime,
home, you don't give up a lot of goals. The Islanders win 1-0, 2-1 games at home.
Yeah, dude, they're so good. They're so good defensively. I don't know why people were counting them out. Hey, by the way, that goal did not count in Colorado. It's still 2-0, so they must have overturned it.
They're underlyingly, they're not actually, but Sorokin is the best goaltender in the league. That guy.
Yeah, I thought he should have won the Vezina last year.
If they make the playoffs, he gets the Vezina hands down.
Hey, why didn't you draft him in fantasy then?
Because couldn't even figure out. I don't know if you figured it out yet. I am an absolute basket case when it comes to technology. So
yeah,
I'm learning.
No.
So I know.
It's funny to me that somebody does a lot of work with math and analytics and stuff can't operate a keyboard or a calculator.
I think Pearlo is pretty good with technology. He's got his own little show, his little thing on Twitter and everything.
With his the stuff to do on TikTok, I don't know how to do.
I don't know how to do that either.
What's that?
I don't know how to do any of the shit
You're
you do
linking
on
your
TikTok,
betting sites
bro.
and your picks, and people could just click on it, and you got your own sites. And you used to be a YouTube.
I have somebody
phenomenon.
did that for me, Matt.
Not the
I
old
had
guy
a
down the
guy
street that gives
that
you the
did that
baseball picks, is it?
I got a guy that messaged me on TikTok and said, would you like a website and all this stuff like that? I'm like, yeah. So he set it all up, and I pay him a percentage. And he does everything for me. I don't know how to do that stuff.
Perlo, I don't know if you've heard. I know you're the old guy on the show, but you're really not that far apart in age.
Not that far, no.
No.
No, this has nothing to do with age. This has to do with mental capacity.
Have you heard of this thing called Google? Have you heard of this thing called YouTube? Anything you don't know how to do technology?
Believe me, I've tried it. I go on there.
You can learn on the internet, and there's a person that will patronize you to the lowest common denominator and show you how to put shit on.
You are seriously not grasping the issue here very well. I've done this.
Okay, well, it shows you how to do it. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I know.
If you can't do it, get your wife to do it. She's a nurse. She's probably more than capable.
Know how to do it.
Yeah, sure. So she can help you out. Okay, I'm going to end the show. Thanks so much for everybody coming out. We had a great show. Hot Take Hockey again. Thanks for coming on.
Good.
I'm glad he got his leaf ran out. I know he's frustrated. It's just early in the year. We got to give them time. If I'm a Leaf fan, I'm not panicking yet. But I appreciate everybody coming in. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Leaf Nation.
Tomorrow is the last show of the week. We'll have done 8 episodes of just weekly stuff. We'll be on episode 9 because I'm going to count the Ryan Tubick one as episode 1. And we really, I was looking, we have like 25 episodes in the bank from the summer. We're just getting together and doing stuff. We are now on podcast. You can find us at Fans First Sports Network on Spotify. You can listen to us craziness, breaking down the hockey every night. I'm uploading the thing as I get done. So we're going to start making some money from this, which is awesome. And, who knows? Maybe we go to Edmonton. Maybe you guys come to Alaska. I'm making my way to Toronto, so you guys owe me a trip.
We're going to have Molson as a sponsor come mid-season.
Perlo says he doesn't mind driving across Canada anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he'll do it with Patrick Kane and who else?
And
the old guy that gives him the baseball picks. He has to do that while he's traveling.
I would do that with Patrick Kane.